Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Tyler from House of Cards TCG, and today I have a round one matchup, and this was Najee. He was actually playing under Shane's account for the DCS 5, which was hosted by Dragonrider online Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, and he said that this was a really good match. Really went back and forth, so I wanted to show this off. He was playing his Eldlich build, and it was against PK, so let's dive right on in. Let's see what happens here. So he wins the rock, paper, scissors, decides to go first. Opening hand, he opens up with a Conquistador, Imperial Order, Fleur-de-Lis, Lord of Heavenly Prison, and Extravagance. His opponent opens up with a Boots, the Shade, Psychic Tracker, Called by, and a Droll and Lockbird. Main decking Droll and Lockbird. That was pretty interesting right there. So now they're just waiting for the actual. This was round one, so they were just waiting for the clock to actually officially start. So they're just waiting, shuffling their hand. We had to do a briefing and all kinds of different things. So he's just sitting here waiting. All right, here we go. They're just talking. Now they're just having some chats, waiting for everything to happen. They probably just started a little too early. Here we go. All right. So main phase one, I'm gonna go ahead and activate Extravagance, banish 6, and then that's gonna go ahead and draw 2. And he draws into another Conquistador and Extravagance. Ouch. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry, Najee, for that, because that is unfortunate. To pick up a Conquistador Extravagance off of your Extravagance when you already have Conquistador. Come on, man. Drop Stroll. That's unfortunate. Reveals Heavenly Prison. It's going to go ahead and set 4 and pass. Very nice. Sets the Extravagance there. Can't be destroyed anyway. He's got the IO, so that's going to turn off Called By. Let's see what our PK player top decks. A Torn Scales, which is really good. That's what he needed. Normal summon Torn Scales, special summon out Tracker. Link those two off. Go for Cherubini. Cherubini effect's going to go ahead and send Graph. Graph effect is then going to go ahead and summon out Seer. Link those off. Go for a Rusty. Seer effect's going to trigger. Bring back the Cherubini. Yeah, typical PK here. Rusty effect. What is he? He has a Conquistador, Imperial Order, and that's it. He's got nothing. Nothing. Sends the Cloak. Goes ahead and sets a Fog Blade. And then he's going to go ahead and activate Cloak. Cloak is then going to go ahead and search him out a Gloves or a Greaves. Yep. Because then he can just Greaves effect, special summon itself. Brings out the Torn Scales. That's going to trigger the Greaves. Greaves is then going to go ahead and summon itself. Overlay those two. Go for the Sea Dragon effect. Bring back the Cloak effect. Then going to go ahead and boost Rusty by 800 attack. Very good PK player here. Link those two off. Go for a Unicorn. Interesting. So Unicorn effect, pitch the Called By. Spins back one of the Conquistadors, which is perfectly fine. Then he turns those into an Access Code. Access Code gain attack. And he's got 1 pop with Access Code. So he's just going for game here. Sets the Shade, activates the Shade, special summons the Boots. Turns those into a Link Spider, full combo, Anaconda effect, bring out DPE. Actually, none of these can be destroyed by anything because of Heavenly Prison. And he's still got Fleur-de-Lis he can summon out and Heavenly Prison, as well as Conk to block. So actually, this is not in a bad position right here. So he sends those, brings out the DPE. Then he activates the Fleur-de-Lis in main phase because he was probably attempting to go to battle. Yeah, attempting to go to battle phase. Fleur-de-Lis can only be activated in the main phase. Summons the Fleur-de-Lis. Does not Access Code pop that. Going to use Enforcer. Send the Anaconda. Pop the Fleur-de-Lis. Attack for 53. Activate Conk. Conk's going to go ahead and block that attack from the Access Code. Then he's going to go ahead and hit with Rusty for 29. And swing for 25 with the Enforcer. Main phase 2. Goes ahead, banishes Boots, search the wings. Sets it, and pass. And nothing on in phase here. He could have activated Imperial Order. Summon Lord of Heavenly Prison. Set a spell, but I don't know. Could have set Nadir Servant, I guess. He already used Enforcer. He could draw phase Enforcer, pop the Nadir Servant. I don't know. It'd be tough. Top deck's a Skill Drain. Goes ahead and activates Extravagance. Banishes 6. And it's really just going to come down to this. Hopefully we get a draw. Draws into a Curse Eldland and a Nadir Servant's not bad. Curse Eldland at 2,600 life points says, He's going to go ahead and activate it, pay 8. And then he's going to go ahead and activate the Enforcer. Enforcer is then going to go ahead and send itself and send the Eldland. Then he's going to go ahead and activate the Eldland effect since it was destroyed. And that's going to go ahead and send. He should send send Eldlich. Very nice. Eldlich effect, send the IO, summon itself. Technically, it adds it to hand and then summons itself. So I guess he's not going to special summon Lord because he can... I got you. So he activates Lord effect, sends the IO. That's going to add Eldlich back to hand. Chooses not to summon it because then he can use the effect to send that in skill drain to send the access code. Then he activates Nadir Servant, sends the Omega, grabs Ecclesia, specials out the Ecclesia. Ecclesia effect is then going to go ahead and search out a Dogmatic of Punishment. He's going to Fog Blade that. That's good. Get rid of that Fog Blade. Activates Heavenly Prison to summon off of that. Because a set spell or trap was activated. He did not reveal it this turn. So now he's going to summon. Battle phase, swing into the Rusty. Damage step, he's going to activate Wings. That's unfortunate. He knew that Wings was there too. Is Cloak... Let me check something really quick. Let me check something. Because I played PK. Is that attack boost permanent until the end of your opponent's turn? Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Okay. So, that was actually a pretty good play, but he would have brought back Rusty anyway. So now he's going to Lord Effect, send the skill drain, and send the access code in phase. Activate the Conquistador, sets a Scarlet. He's not in a bad position here. Top deck's a Torn Scales. And I forgot Enforcer is going to come back. Normal summon, activate Celestial. That's going to draw 2. It's just a scoop at that point, yeah. So unfortunately, game 1 goes to our PK player. Going on to game 2, we're going to see Najee decide to go... Wait a minute. Yeah. Najee decides to go second. Interesting call there. So he decides to go second. Maybe fearing an evenly, or I guess because PK board isn't that terrible. But anyway, he opens up with a Conquistador, Nadir Servant, Solemn Strike, Lord of Heavenly Prison, and a Torrential. And then his opponent opens up with an E-Telly, Kakamucha Knight, Stain Greaves, the Snake, and a Droplet. So I thought it was a mistake. No, Najee really decided to go second. Very interesting. So then he goes ahead and activates Snake Effect. That's going to go ahead and roll a couple 6s. And then he hits a 1. That's going to go ahead and send the E-Telly, summon out the Snake. Then he's going to normal summon out a Tour Guide, and then chain that with Kakamucha Knight. So it summons out the Kakamucha Knight. Tour Guide is going to go ahead and bring out the Graph. Link those two off, go for a Cherubini. Graph Effect is then going to go ahead and bring out the Seer. And then this is going to be... Is he going to go Appaloosa? I wonder. Cherubini Effect, send the Gloves. Turn all those into an Appaloosa. So the only thing I don't like about this is... I guess it's not terrible because you've seen him open up with some Nadir Servant stuff. And you've seen him open up with Ecclesia and Fleur de Lis. So I guess Appaloosa isn't terrible in this matchup. So that's not bad. He's going to get Seer Effects, going to bring back Cherubini, turn Kakamucha Knight and Cherubini into a Rusty. Rusty Effect is then going to go ahead and send Torn Scales, I'm assuming. Yep, send Torn Scales, set a Shade. Then he's going to activate Gloves. Gloves is then going to go ahead and send a Cloak. Torn Scales is then going to summon out. Then you're going to get Stain Greaves Effect in hand to go ahead and summon. Overlay those, or actually first, then you're going to get Cloak. Cloak is then going to search out a Boots. Overlay those two for a Sea Dragon. Sea Dragon Effect is then going to activate, pitch the Torn Scales, bring out the Cloak. Cloak Effect, boost Rusty's attack. Then you get a special summon out the Boots. Overlay those, go for a Break Sword. Rusty Effect, pop the Break Sword, bring out 2. And then those become level 4. You activate Shade. You overlay those for a Time Thief Redoer. And then you turn those two into an Anaconda. Anaconda effect, pay 2. Go ahead and dump the bricks. Brings out an Enforcer. Insane. And I remember Najee talking to me about this, and he said that it was actually, as a trap deck, it was actually insane to have to play against Time Thief Redoer. Like, he's like, I couldn't out this card because trap, if it attaches a trap, place one face-up card your opponent controls to the top of their deck. So then you create a loop where they're literally just looping their cards on their field, and it's actually insane. So he's going to go ahead and get the Boots effect. Boots is then going to bring out the Fogblade, set Fogblade, and end phase. Enforcer effect's going to go ahead and pop the Anaconda, clears up a, I guess you still got this space for the Rusty. And then do that. So he does open up with a Lava Golem. That's a really good top deck. So he was planning on going second. Standby phase, he's going to attach his Dogmatica Punishment. So now he can bounce a card on the field. And he has a monster which banishes cards until the end phase. Enforcer's going to come back out, main phase 1. He's going to Lava Golem for his Appaloosa and his Enforcer. So that's going to out the Enforcer. So that's really good. Now he's going to activate Nadir Servant, send Entis. Search out Ecclesia. Entis effect is then going to pop the Rusty. Probably should have popped, I guess, but then you could quick effect, banish it. So then, interesting. He also didn't really know that how bad Time Thief was going to be against him. So he's going to go ahead and special out the Ecclesia. Ecclesia effect is then going to go ahead and search out a punishment. He's going to Fogblade that. He reveals Lord of Heavenly Prison. And then he goes ahead and sets 3 and passes. On end phase, you're going to get Redoer. Redoer is then going to go ahead and detach 2 to banish itself. And then stack the Ecclesia to the top of his deck. Oof. So now you basically know what his top deck is, which is going to be the Ecclesia. Insane. All right, Fogblade effect is then going to bring back a Rusty. And then he's going to Torn Scales, summon itself back out. And then he's going to Redoer. It's going to bring itself back out. Standby phase. Redoer effect. Attach the Ecclesia from the deck to the Redoer. Main phase 1. He's going to lose 1,000 to the Lava Golem. Then he's going to go ahead and Torn Scales, pitch the Fusion Destiny. That's going to go ahead and send a Ragged Gloves or a Cloak. Then he's going to set Droplet. Celestial effect, draw 2. He's going to go ahead and strike that, which is really good. You definitely want to strike that. It sucks, too, because the strike would have dealt with this Time Thief Redoer. But he's still got a Torrential. He could have Torrentialed when the Redoer summons back. Because it was a... Banish this card until the end phase. Okay, so it banishes to the end phase. End phase, it came back. So he actually couldn't have, because all these were summoned at the end phase. So he couldn't have Torrentialed yet. But now he could Cloak effect. Cloak's then going to go ahead and search out another Boots. When he summons Boots, flip Torrential. Yep, definitely flip Torrential. He's going to go ahead and banish the Redoer. Wipes the whole board. Very nice. Banishes his Rusty and banishes his Torn Scales because they were summoned back on the effect. And then he's going to activate Heavenly Prison. Heavenly Prison is going to summon itself. That's going to get set his Extravagance. Now if he can just get the Eldlich cards rolling, he'll be in a good position here. Boots is then going to banish. That's going to go search Fogblade or Wings. Yep, Fogblade. And he's going to go ahead and set Fogblade and pass. And then in phase, Redoer comes back. He activates the Conquistador, but he has no card to attach, so he can't. Okay, that's fine. So you can try to link that off. The only problem I see here is if he standby phase attaches a trap, he can bounce your Conquistador back, and now you still have no Eldlich engine rolling. There it is, punishment. So standby phase, main phase 1, he's going to go ahead and activate Extravagance. Banish 6, draw into a Conquistador and a Cursed Eldland, so that's great. So now it's going to get his Eldlich engine rolling. Links off Conquistador for Link Spider. Activates Cursed Eldland. Pay 8, feel great. Grab a Golden Lord. Then he's going to go ahead and Redoer effect. He's going to bounce Eldland back to his hand. Not sure what happened here. Let me see something. Trap, place one face-up card your opponent controls at the top of your deck. Oh, I guess add the Eldlich monster. I'm not sure why he response to land. Okay, so before he gets the search of Eldlich, he's gonna chain on Eldlich. He's gonna chain Redoer. That's gonna bounce it back to the top of the deck. And then that way it can't resolve because it's not on the field. So then he's gonna go ahead and go into battle phase, beat over the Time Thief Redoer. He's gonna activate Fogblade on his Heavenly Prison. Main phase 2, he's gonna set Conquistador and banish the Conquistador. Set Scarlet and pass. Draw phase, he's gonna top deck a Kakamucha Knight, and he's gonna equip a Wakero. Cloak effect is then going to activate. Cloak is then going to go. Look at his graveyard banished right now. So he's got 1, 2 boots. He's got a Torn Scales in here. 2 cloaks. So that's probably both cloaks. He probably doesn't play a third cloak. He's probably got 1 boots left. The Ragged Gloves is gone. Stained Greaves is gone. So he's probably got 2 Torn Scales left and a boots. Thinking. So he's going to grab a Torn Scales. Normal summon Torn Scales, activate Kakamucha Knight to summon itself. And then he's going to go ahead and discard, bring out that, overlay those 2, go for the Break Sword. Break Sword effect is then going to activate. Break Sword is then going to go ahead and go to battle phase. Redoer is going to hit over the Link Spider. And then you already know it's coming. Yeah. Break Sword, pop the Droplet, and pop the Conquistador. Then he's going to go ahead and chain Conquistador, chain Scarlet, chain Time Thief Redoer. That's going to go ahead and send the Wakero to bounce the Conquistador back so he can't get the pop. Actually insane. Brings out the Eldlich. No pop because it was sent there. Go for the downer, go for the Zeus. Pops that, and he's just going to pass. Then he's going to activate Wakero. Wakero's then going to set Scarlet, and then he's going to go ahead and pass. He gets the there can only be one, and it's just like this reoccurring cycle. It's actually insane what Redoer can do here. So he's going to extra for 6. Picks up there can only be one in Wakero. Doesn't do much against Zeus, though. And he's just GG's. Ran out of time. Okay, so they're in turn 0 now. So this was round 1, so they're just figuring that out. So he said, okay, I'll continue. Battle phase, he's going to go ahead and swing with the Heavenly Prison, but that's under Fogblade, so it can't attack. So Lord effect. Then he's going to go ahead and stack the Eldlich on top, which means that the Time Thief is then going to grab the Eldlich next turn. And that's unfortunate. He's going to go ahead and set 2. In phase pass. He top decks a Wings. Redoer's then going to go ahead and detach the Eldlich, banish itself until the end phase. Then he's going to get the Zeus effect, and then he's still going to get his Time Thief Redoer back at the end phase, which is going to wipe the entire board. Go battle phase. Fogblade, bring back the Greaves. That's going to trigger the Torn Scales. That's going to be 4,800. That's going to be game. Unfortunate. Oh, unfortunate. That was a good matchup, though. Definitely Time Thief Redoer slept on that deck, right? It just completely kept reoccurring itself against this Eldlich matchup because the trap just bouncing cards back to the top of the deck was actually insane. So I'm glad that I got to see this replay and get to do this for you guys. Let me know what you think down below. Insane, right? Eldlich versus PK, and is won by a Time Thief Redoer. Crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. This has been Tyler with House of Cards TCG, signing out.